Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Hamida. Good morning, Farah. Good morning, Fatin. Sorry, my friend, I don't read Arabic, so I do not know your name. So sorry about that. But it's so good to see you all live again. And today is really fun because we are talking about perception and how your brain is actually working. Now, today's topic is broken down into the next 4 days maybe, because I want to take it into a very small bite size, especially today, maybe about 10 minutes max, for one simple reason. If you can master this, you can master a lot of other things, because once you understand how your brain functions, this is how we learn as entrepreneurs. How do we use it for our branding purposes? How we use it for marketing purposes? How we use it to influence the other person? So this is a topic which I really want to talk about. It's all about perception, and as the title says, I like to shake people's map of the world. Now, have we ever thought about how our brains really work? The first thing that we want to do, hey Safwan, hi Mizan, all right, how does the brain really works? There's two things that you need to, there's one thing my daughter always tell me. She like to read this word: the map is not the territory. What does the map is not the territory? What does it really mean? What it means is that whatever that you see may not be the truth, because your brains, hi Danish, right? Because your brains actually cannot differentiate what is real, what is vividly imagined. Now I repeat that. Your brain does not know what is real or what is vividly imagined. How scary can that be? That means, like, whatever you see may not be the truth. Have you ever thought about it? That's quite scary, because ultimately, let's put it this way. I'm sorry for those people who are in the hospital, but you know, there are some people in Malaysia who are always happy. You can find them Ipoh around a hospital nearby. It's called Hospital Bahagia. It's basically, you realize that these people always imagine things, and they imagine it so much until it becomes scary to them. Or my little daughter, she refuses to go upstairs of the house unless there's somebody accompanying her. Now, when you ask her, hey Anna, why are you so scared? What is it you're scared about? Well, I just feel scared. Now, when you're feeling scared like that, being fearful, are you imagining things? Answer is yes, right? So the thing here is what is real, what is not real? Sometimes our brain don't pick it up. And or let's say have you ever encountered a time where you couldn't find your keys, for example? When you cannot find your keys, what do? You always say you can't find your keys, but the keys could be basically in front of you. So what we are saying is your brains wipe out the information that you don't want to see as well. And let's give you another example. Husband and wife. I love this topic. Whenever, you know how men and women communicate differently? When we men say, let's say if my wife asks me, is there anything wrong? I said there's nothing wrong. It means nothing's wrong. But if you ask, for the guys out there, when you ask your partner or your girlfriend or your wife, is there anything wrong? I said, when they turn around and say, nothing. Do you really believe that? You know there's something coming along, right? Yeah, so basically our brains do not know what is real or what is vividly imagined. And give you, for example, I've been predicting, I got caught myself as well yesterday when the news came out, said our MCO is going to end on 4th of March. On the 5th, we're going to go into CMCO stage, right? And when I read, I was like so sure interstate is going to open. When I read it, I said, when they said can move in within districts, I said, yes, we can go interstate. Then after that, about 2 hours later, I read back again, like, hey, it actually says we are not allowed to travel across states. We only can cross around borders. So what happens here is that because I started believing earlier on or premeditating that we are going to be able to allow ourselves to travel interstate, immediately I read it as such. So that means the brains only direct your attention to what you want to really see or hear. And it's never the truth. And that's what it is, where you need to be aware and catch yourself not seeing the actual truth and start to take a step back and to figure it out. Now, the other way how our brains are wired or how we interpret things is that we see life. How many senses do we have? First question. You know what senses? Now, senses is like what you see, what you hear, what you feel, etc. But men and women also has got different senses. According to some people, or the 70,000 people that I've spoken to thus far across after 18 years of training and development, basically the men will tell me they've got 5 senses, whereas the ladies got 6 senses. Now, you ladies out there, please don't kill me for saying this, but generally you will tell me you have got 6 senses. But what is your 6th sense? Now, our 5 senses are what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, and what you taste. That's the normal 5 senses. The 6th sense by ladies, it's always about their gut feel. Now, why they have this gut feel? Generally, women are very good in body language, all right, in which they can look at a guy and look at the body, they automatically know whether they can trust the guy or not. Whereas we men, according to women, are very good at looking at the body but not the language. But along the way, within these 44 days with you guys, I'm going to share with you all a bit of body language, where I'm going to share how do you actually interpret or look at a person and know what's happening within their mind as well, which is very good for influencing skills, which will come towards the end of the program. All right, but every single day I will give you an update what's going to be covered next. Now, so the first thing about your perception and your brains is that, number one, how we are wired is we can either perceive things or we are hardwired to it. Now, when we say hardwired, this is your brain dynamics. Now, whatever that your parents said, whether, I'm sorry about the parents thing, but the thing is, the truth is this. Today, you as an adult, you're a product of what people or your parents have said to you the moment you are formed until about 6 years old. Basically, this is where in which that everything is wired in your brains and you start behaving in that way. All right, so whether we like it or not, we are always programmed by the external world when we are a kid. So now what we try to do is that we want to take control as to how we're going to interpret. So coming back, so we have the five senses. We will see the world. It goes through a filter, which I'll cover more in the days to come. Information will go into our brains, and we will start interpreting it. What we call by meaning over meaning, without meaning, and meaning. So what we try to do is at every single level, we want to be able to understand how we make meanings. And this is influenced consciously or unconsciously. Yeah, you're right. Okay. We need to differentiate what's the truth and our own perception. And sometimes it could be also be branding and marketing. You see, for example, I grew up, okay, I've interviewed people to talk about this, to explain this a little bit more. I've interviewed people who smokes, for example. So when I asked them, what does it mean to you when you smoke? They said, well, I feel relaxed. So when you feel relaxed, what does it mean to you? I feel more productive. When I feel more productive, what does it mean to you? Well, I then think I can achieve more. And when you can achieve more, what does it mean to you? I feel free. What does it mean to be free? I can see myself running in the desert, riding a horse. Then I was like, that sounds very familiar. Then I remember during my days, Marlboro used to brand their cigarettes as that. Some Marlboro Adventure or something. I watch it over the advertisements when I was a kid. So basically what they do is they program our brains so much that, as you said, what we perceive and what is the truth sometimes is blurred. All right. So the thing is, we're going to be able to now take a step back to look at it, because let's say when you're from until 6 years old, all this information that comes in will shape our brains. So the thing is, we need to understand the culture, the background, the education, and you said family as well. Definitely, that's very, very true, because then this will all influences our mind. Tomorrow, we're going to cover things like what are the key stimulus and what are the key response, that automatic response that you can get. So therefore, the people, at least you know what is the strategy that you can deal with people. For example, you can say something and you would automatically know this is like a chessboard. You follow what I'm saying? Doing business is like playing a chessboard. You move your pawn, you know where the person is going to go. So what we are saying is that as along the way, I'm going to give you, it's just like an onion, right? You peel off piece by piece, going to give you step by step, where in which that I would give you a summary in total, so we know how to apply it on our day-to-day life. Because ultimately, your brains and your perception, the key is you need to know your own wiring first. Because if you can control your own wiring, then you'll be able to control or manage the other person's expectation and so on. But everything boils down to the very core, what we did on the first day. Who are you? Second, what are your primary questions? Because your primary questions will then will affect the wiring, and therefore you will be able to see the things according to it, right? So let's say if the guy thinks I am just a normal person, primary focus is like, I do not know what's happening in this world, why am I doing that? And ultimately, whenever they see the five senses, when it goes through their mind, it's always projected as negative. Yeah. You need to predict the customer desire and fulfillment. Sure, definitely. We'll definitely cover it in the next few days. I wish I can have more interaction with you guys. Always drop it in the comments. I will pick it up. I promise you, on a day-to-day basis, I will approach it. And if there is things, I will definitely cover it more within these few days. So that's all for today. Always remember, the map is not a territory, because it's not whether it's truth or perception, and it's all because of how we've been wired. Education, family, all plays a role. Tomorrow, we're going to decode it a little bit more. So till then, thank you very much and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah Pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.